Hi guys, just doing a quick video today on caring for your white ink line. Had a few instances where people have, thought that they needed to get a new head or just, I guess, general maintenance where we've got white ink dropping out and things like that. So there's a few things each week that you can do to ensure that your white pristine condition and there's no warning signs that there's a blockage, for instance. So let's just go through the front of the machine. The first thing to check is to make sure that your sub tank here is full of white ink. So it may not be full, but it needs to be at least half to 3/4 full. And so what obviously happens is that you can see that we've got an ink line coming in and an ink line exiting. This is the white circulation. So out from the white ink at the back, a pump will push the ink through the sub tank, and then it'll exit out of the sub tank, and then it'll go back into the top end of the sub tank of the tank at the back, which I'll show you in a minute when we go to the back. But just from a front of machine point of view, we want to make sure that these lines are full and there's no air gaps or missing ink in any of these lines. This will tell us that our white ink circulation is potentially functioning correctly. We also want to make sure that these white ink lines going to our dampers are all full and there's no air gaps in there, which would tell us here at the moment that our ink circulation is going because this is full, and we can see that the ink lines are full of white, so there's no air pockets or any reason for concern here. So let's now go through to the back. Okay, so now we're venturing over to the back. Obviously this is our white ink container. Now, different machines will have different bottles. That's all fine. They all run on a similar sort of concept though. So what we want to make sure is that the white ink, again, coming out of the bottle is full in this line. Then from this line, it will go through a filter somewhere through here. Some filters will be exposed and there'll be long tube filters like that sort of thing. Some will be little disc filters and some will be behind covers. So in this case, mine is behind a cover, so I can't actually see it. But you should every now and then take off the cover and inspect the filter to make sure everything is fine. But the main thing here is that this ink line is full of white ink. This means that there's no blockage coming out of the ink tank. So this is all meaning it's all normal and good. If there's no ink in this part here, we know that there's a potential block, which could be in the exit of this tank, or it could be a block, for instance, in the filter, or could literally be in the actual line or even in the circulation pump. So we want to make sure that these lines are all full, which really makes us pretty confident that there's no block anywhere in the line. Now, from the sub tank at the front that I showed you, there was the point where the ink enters the sub tank, and there's a point where it exits. So when it exits, that ink actually comes back in the top of the tank here. So you can see a white line, a line with white ink in it, and it's full. So this shows us that the white ink circulation is intact and is working normally, because we can see ink coming back here. If the pump wasn't working, then there would be no supply of ink going back into this container. So that's really important to make sure that essentially all the lines are full of white ink and there's no blank spots. That's what we're trying to check here. Okay, so the other thing that is a good idea to check is the white ink tank, to make sure there's no sludge or sediment that has sit at the bottom over a period of time. So it's important to check, obviously, that the line is clear, and if it's full, it would suggest that there's no blockage there, but a blockage can easily occur if that sludge builds up in the bottom. So what I suggest to do, maybe once a month or something like that, is get a long screwdriver or a really long spoon, for instance, and drop that inside and feel the bottom and just make sure there's no sludge, and just if there is, just sort of do a bit of this and get that sludge off the bottom and mix it back up into the tank. Now the stirring device inside the tank will stir the ink up, but over a long period of time, it's not unreasonable to get a little bit of a build-up or sludge in the bottom. So that's why it's important to, give this a bit of a stir on the bottom and mix that up, to try and stop any blockage happening at this point here. So that's something that I would strongly suggest, just to make sure that the ink flow is never compromised. Yeah, do that once a month, and that will also just make sure that all the white is behaving itself normally.